All right, I'll let people in as they trickle in now. We're approaching about 140 people on here, and so we'll just kind of keep trickling in here. And that's why I wanted to kind of take the first few minutes here tonight as people are trickling in before our guest speakers are on with us. I've already made them co-hosts, or they are ready to go. Once my part is done, I will hop off and go live into the Facebook group. So if you know anybody that missed tonight and they wanted to watch it, you'll be able to tag them in our APL Go community. We'll also have the recording available as well for people to listen in on. So know that that'll be right after here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'll tell a little bit about who I am, and we'll get this party started. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is James Lenhart, and I have been with APL Go for just coming up on 4 months. I actually work for corporate. I'm the APL Go Director of Communications. I've been doing that for about 4 months now. APL Go is a company we're going to go over really quickly tonight of what APL Go is, a few of the products, a little bit about the business side of what we have going on here, because this is a global company. It's been around for about 9 years, and we've been slowly launching in the US and now 15 other countries over the last almost a year now, a little over a year. We've been doing some launch plans throughout the entire world, really. It started in the US and now it's trickled to another 15 different countries. And there's more on the way that are constantly coming out. And so I was brought on really to help with communications, a lot of different things, because we are a European-based company. So I was brought on here really to increase the communications from the field into corporate, and really being able to give a lot of tools that we now have out there, and some new updates to our enrollment flow, our website. And there's just a lot more coming, especially over, I would say, the next 60 days are going to be a very big turning point for this company, because we've been in what we would call a whisper launch over the last year and a half. And now it's really time to go all out and have a lot of fun. So that's where I come from. That's a little bit about me. But tonight we're going to be joined by two amazing people that are part of this company, and one who has a very distinct overview of the products of APL Go, and she's going to be sharing a lot. Her name is Mary Esther, and we also have Mike Healy, who's going to be interviewing her. So if you've ever wondered, what are these products? What's in them? Why do they work? Why should I take them, even if I don't have an instant reaction to it? And, I can walk on water from the moment I use them. Why should I keep taking these? What is the effect that it's going to have on my body? And so they're going to go through that in real detail tonight. My goal is really to go over really quickly of everything we have here at APL Go, just so you can have a general overview. And I see that somebody said they can't hear me. Can everyone hear me okay? Can I get some thumbs up or some, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, Krista can hear me. Awesome. Check your volume. The volume looks good on here. I'm not sure if I'll come up a little closer here. I don't have my speaker on here tonight. So, okay, it looks like everyone can hear me. So hopefully you check your volume on your computer, and you should be good to go. I don't have my my little microphone that I usually have tonight. So what I want to do is we're going to jump in really quickly tonight, because what I want to talk about is what APL Go is, and then that's going to lead into our speaker. So my piece is going to be, I'm going to try to do this in 10 minutes. So we'll see how fast I can do this. But I'll try to do it so you can still understand it as they go through it. And I'm continually adding participants in here. And if our co-hosts want to add people as we're coming on here, that would be really helpful as well. So APL Go is really about the evolution of wellness. Over the years, especially in business, we've seen a lot of trends come to a place where it's made products, companies, and services literally obsolete because of technology. Think of records, cassettes, CDs, MP3 players. That's now all going to the cloud. Anybody remember when they had an iPod? I still remember my iPod. But now it's all in the cloud. I mean, even right now, I think I have a terabyte of memory in the cloud with all the services that we have, where it's Google Cloud or Apple Cloud or whatever it is. Everything is going up into that cloud. And it's really the evolution of a lot of technology that's out there. It's now literally become obsolete. Technology that some of us, dating myself, grew up on, but we grew up on technology that literally is not sold anymore. You can't find it anymore except in like retro stores. And so it's gone. Wellness is going through a similar trend. wellness, if you think of the powders that were back in the day when you had protein powders and liquids and lots of pills and capsules, and over the last 5 to 10 years, juices and gels have become popular, little gels that you put into your mouth, or even essential oils. Those have become really popular. And what we have here with APL Go is really the evolution of that, doing wellness in a way that tastes good and everyone can use it. And it really has an effect on the body that you need on a daily basis because of just all the toxins that are around us. Because absorption is the key. No matter how great you believe your wellness products are, or your shake, or your drink, or whatever you put on your skin or inside your body, the only thing that matters is how much of it actually gets into your body and affects your body in a positive way, which I believe is going to be one of the big topics that we're going to talk about tonight. I just want to go over this in a very overview style way. So when you take the drops, they're candy. I'm not at home right now, or I pop them out of my little tin that I have, because I carry a little tin around that makes it so I can always have them on hand. The little candies make it so they absorb right in your mouth, just like you would absorb a Halls, a candy lozenge, anything like that. Makes it where it absorbs directly into your mucous membranes inside your mouth and goes into your bloodstream, versus any pills or any powders or drinks that have to make it through your entire esophagus and hopefully absorb something. Now, there is some technology out there, like nanotechnology and technology that can maybe capsulate some nutrients and possibly get in there. But again, it's how much is actually getting into that absorption of the body. With this, you're getting a direct absorption right into the body. And this is all backed by science. What's really cool about these products is that in each one of these drops, we have 15 different types of drops that do, I really think, an unlimited type of things for people. But all these drops have the ingredients that are backed by hundreds, if not thousands of years of data of saying, this is what this ingredient does, and this is what this ingredient does. When you mix this ingredient with this ingredient, here's what it does. This just makes it where it's in a delivery system that you put in your mouth, absorb, it tastes delicious, and it actually works. And we're going to talk about that a lot tonight with our special guest. If you think about how our drops are created, though, is really where I think a lot of the magic is, because this is from plant DNA. Sorry, Siri wanted to say something. This is from plant DNA. So what's going on here is the plant DNA is being extracted from the botanicals and put directly into the drops and negatively charged. Because if you know anything about ions or anions or anything, it all comes down to the electricity that's around us at all times. Now, we're surrounded, which I have stickers on all of my electronics that prevent the positive ions that are out there getting into my system, because negative ions are really what you want, because that has so many properties, and I'm sure we'll talk about that tonight. But this is just making it where it's a tasty, delicious way to get wellness into your body that's very, very efficient. When we talk about who regulates these products, and that was a big thing for me, because if we were going to use products in our family, I wanted to make sure they were safe. So all of our products are manufactured in an FDA registered facility. You talk about gluten-free, non-GMO, all the different certifications that we meet in all of the countries that we serve. All of our products meet that, and we own the manufacturing facility where it's all made. So we don't have a lot of third parties that we have to worry about. It's located in Europe, where I actually think the standards of nutrition are higher, because if you look at products that are sold in our stores here in America, and then you bring them over to Europe, they actually have better products over there, because Europe won't allow certain things in their products. And so we have a huge production facility where we ship from, we come over to the US, and we distribute it throughout all of our different countries there. So what's great about this is that we own this, and we own everything that it comes from. So what I want to talk about really quickly, super fast, because tonight our special guest will go over really the ingredients of what's in these. But we have 15 and soon 16 different drops. And think of these drops as whatever your health goal is, we have a drop for that. And so like one of the things that we talk about here is everything is quick, convenient, delicious, attractive, safe, and unique. And so when you think about this, when you think about APL Go, and you think about our drops, it's a very simple, easy, effective way to get wellness into your body. One of my favorite drops is Relax. And yes, it does exactly what it says. Just like if you were to get sick and you went to the store because your throat hurt, you would get a lozenge. You would take that lozenge. Maybe it has menthol in it or whatever. Maybe it's a Halls. and you immediately feel the effect and you feel the difference. This is the same way, but it tastes like candy, not like medicine. And so this relax actually has kind of a banana-y flavor to it. And all these things that are inside your banana, chamomile, lettuce, Siberian ginseng, passion flower, ashwagandha, some have hundreds, if not thousands of years of clinical study data of the effects it has in the body. Relax is made to relax your body, not so much sleep. It can help someone sleep. We have some products that when you put them together, even works more effective. So relax kind of calms the mind and makes your body relax more. One of the products that's coming out very soon, I think acts more as a relaxant to the mind, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Then we have Slide. Slide is, think of this for anyone that has joint issues. I have massive knee issues. I actually started running recently again. And I really think the combination of Slide and STP is really the only reason that I can go and actually can sprint again, which I wasn't able to really ever sprint since I was in high school. And so Slide, this flavor is kind of a pear flavor. I really like it. And you can mix all these flavors together as well. So this is for joint issues. And then we have Ice. I always have this on hand. So this makes it where I don't have to take Tums or anything that I have to do off the shelf digestion factors. This is a great thing. So if you have anything in terms of any digestion issues, Ice is a great way to combat it, and has a cool mint flavor. So I just want to give you a high level overview of some of the products, and there's 15 different of them. And I want you to think to yourself, what's a health goal that I want to achieve right now? I can guarantee you, whether it's weight loss or blood sugar levels or circulation or digestion issues or cleansing issues or detoxing issues, whatever that health goal is, there's a drop for that here. I would just tell you to get back with the person that shared with you tonight and say, hey, this is my health goal. Which drop should I get? Which pack should I get? And they'll be able to help you do that. But again, tonight we're going to go over so much detail of these products and a lot of the ingredients we're going to talk about here in a second. So we have our daily collection. These are all ones that people really take daily. I think I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 of these daily. GTS is another one of my favorites as well for like a pre-workout little pump. Makes it so I don't have to take caffeine or a pre-workout drink. That's what's great for GTS. We've got a Premier collection. This is for that next level where there may be from some very specific health goals that you have, whether it's digestion or circulatory system or alt is great. Our family loves it. Allergy season coming up. It's one of the few things that gives us relief. We're in Texas with hay fever here, and so it's crazy the amount of pollen that we get here over the next 2 months. And alt is one of the few things that actually works. Then we have our Premier Plus collection. This is our beauty line, which is basically beauty from the inside out. Tastes like kind of a strawberry tea, which is a really good flavor. I wasn't sure about it, but now I actually really like it. And so this has, I think there's 19 different ingredients in beauty. And then Brain, I love this because if you're a coffee drinker or not a coffee drinker, don't think this tastes like sucking on a coffee bean. It's kind of like a creamy latte. And this is for focus and concentration. So as you can tell, I took one before this one. It doesn't give me that buzzy feeling. I don't feel like I'm going off the walls. I'm really particular about caffeine into my system. And this does not make me feel that way. And so that's kind of an overview of a few of our products. We're always innovating. We're always having new products come out. We have our 16th product coming out on November 11th, which, as I said, is a mind calming, but also focus at the same time. And it makes you feel really happy. And that is something that's coming very soon. And you'll see much more information coming out about that. What I want to switch really quickly is that, because these products make sense, we also have a business. We have an affiliate program where you can become an associate of APL Go and share these products in a very easy and effective way. The price point being so low makes it that people really want to try these and they can afford them, especially what's going on in the economy today. You need an affordable product that you can offer globally. And right now, I think we're in 30 different countries, might be 30 or 32. I'm not sure. But we're in countries all over the world. And so you can have a global business right from your phone or your computer anywhere and be able to run a business. Like these are some of the places we actually have an updated map, but now also Australia, down into Asia, South Africa, all through Latin America, into Mexico. So everywhere in the world, we really want to paint this world all APL Go. And that's really the whole idea about this, is to create this puzzle that fits together perfectly. And that's one of the things that I've been doing over the last 4 months is is really to fine tune this puzzle and really round out some of the edges that it has to make it really easy and really simple for people to understand. The founders, Sergey and Olga, are just amazing people. Their goal is to have the most well-known brand in wellness that pays the most amount of money to its affiliates. And so their core drivers are, how do we make the best wellness products in all different categories and then provide a reward system that rewards the people that want to share this. They give away a ridiculous amount of free products. They give away a lot of trips. We do go on a lot of vacations and a lot of recognition here. And these are the things that are the intangibles, the things that are more important than really just a paycheck, but a paycheck is important. And making it where you can have a plan B. And here there's 11, actually there's 13 different ways to earn income. And some of them are, you can earn income simply just by referring a friend who becomes a customer. You can actually earn up to 74% when somebody becomes a customer, places an order. There's all different types of bonuses depending on, how large of an organization or a network that you want to build here at APL Go. But it could just be you getting a few customers and helping some friends do that. Or it could be, creating a multiple 6-figure, even 7-figure income here with APL Go. The sky is literally the limit to you. And that's what it really comes down to, is making it where whatever you want to achieve here, you can, if you put the time and effort into it. One of the things a lot of people ask is like, well, how would I do this? Well, we've got an app for that. Just like we've got a drop for that, we've got an app for that. And so we have an app that gives you all the messages, the campaigns, landing pages, downloads, all the things you would need to do in order to run this business right from your phone, 24 hours, 7 days a week, so you can go and live life. And so we have that app, and that's available to everybody. So as we wrap up here with my section, I'm going to turn it over to our special guest speakers here in a second. Kind of ask yourself, are you a number one or a number two? Now, of course, we're going to dive into it in a minute here with our speakers, and you're going to hear more, really a deep dive on our products and our ingredients from our speakers. But really ask yourself, are you someone that's a number one that maybe you just want to try the products, place an order, go shopping, check it out? Or are you a number two that goes, hey, listen, I know some people that have some of the health goals that we talked about earlier that would love to at least try this. It would make sense for me to become an associate. We actually have some packs that you can purchase as an associate that'll help you kind of jumpstart your business if you want to. They're completely not something you're required to purchase, but we have those available to our associates as well. Or you're a number one and you just want to shop for a few different products and go from there. So that's kind of my piece for tonight. I'm going to stop my share here. I'm going to hop back to our initial picture here, because what I want to do is I want to introduce our next speakers. But as I do this, I'm going to try to do this simultaneously. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're definitely going to try. But I want to put up their pictures here as I attempt to share this into Facebook world, because I do want to share this into our group if I'm able to. And it looks like it's going to let me. Sometimes Zoom lets me, sometimes it doesn't, but we will see. All right. Well, welcome everybody. If you're joining us live here in our community, we're just so happy that you're able to jump on here tonight for this interview that we have with Mary Esther and Mike Healy. That's going to be going over, why is APL Go so special? And we're going live in the group. So if you want to tag anybody in our community, feel free to do that. Or you could join us live on Zoom. You can find us under the events tab there. But I want to turn this over to Mike Healy, and he's going to introduce Mary to everyone tonight. So Mike, are you there with us?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good to go.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, first off, James, thank you so much for a very detailed yet quick presentation. That was fantastic.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, first time I got to see you speak. And then Mary Esther, do we have you on here?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. Excellent. So this is going to be fantastic. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate your time. We know that it's important that everybody gets great information. And what's really cool is this is the first time I've had the opportunity to interview Mary Esther. She did say I could just call her Esther, so we're going to just call her Esther throughout the presentation here. But I wanted to, there's a lot of pressure to do this correctly too, by the way, because everybody's geared up for this expert to come on here. And I was thinking of what is the best format that we could do? How could I get or give the best value to everybody watching? And I think Mary or Esther, I think that the best way we could do this is do it through a story form. Okay. So what my idea was here is I want to kind of walk you through your experience, what you've seen kind of over your period of your life, and then bring you to kind of where we are with the APL Go products and so on. And I think that's going to be a great way for people to jump on board. So all that being said, let me just jump right into this. So Esther, the cool part, as I was reviewing your website and I went through your about page and I was looking at all of your credentials, everything like that, you have been into natural healing, holistic health, about 40 other things for over 40 years that you've been doing this professionally. And in case people don't know this, anything you're doing for over 40 years, there's like the book called Outliers, where it's, if you put 10,000 hours into something, you're an expert. You've way surpassed that, right? Of all those things. What in the world, or how in the world does somebody get so passionate about knowledge and wanting to know all of these things about helping and healing people?
Well, this is going to be great. I get to talk about myself first because I have a story to tell and I want to share it with the world. But hi, everyone. It's so nice to see so many people on the call, first of all. And I want to comment on the photograph on your first page. That photo was taken 17 years ago. Okay, so I don't look the same anymore. But anyway, I still feel great though. So I've been practicing what I've been learning and teaching for 40 years. I began way back in '74, just started getting interested in just eating better and exercising and just improving how I looked, kind of thing. I was, 20 years old, but I got the bug. I realized that nutrition is really the most fundamental thing a person can do for their health. It all starts within the micro cell in your inner micro universe, and there's multiple trillions of cells that are always communicating with each other and always maintaining homeostasis, or the proper biochemical balance in the body. And the only way to do that, there is no other way, I guarantee, is to make sure that your cells are properly nourished. And so, proper diet, exercise, sunshine, getting a lot of rest, staying hydrated, all that stuff is great. But the problem is usually just not being able to absorb those nutrients. So that's how I just embarked on my education. I went through the traditional, dietetics, clinical dietetics curriculum, but I was not satisfied because they weren't teaching us how to heal the body nutritionally. So when I discovered a holistic college, I went ahead and embarked on that course of study and got a bachelor's and a master's degree. So I ended up with a couple of bachelor's and a master's degree. But yeah, I was going to go for a PhD, but long story, not going to go there yet. But anyway, so I started just teaching people, just one-on-one. And next thing I knew, I had a practice. And so I stayed with that practice in Northern California for 30 years. And along the way, I really learned a lot about the human body. Yes, I had a great education, but once you have that basic education and even the advanced, degrees, you still have to delve into the scientific literature and see what's in there. There are literally thousands of scientific journals and even more scientific peer-reviewed articles on every single botanical you can think of on the planet. I've never not been able to find any scientific work done on any botanical on this planet, over 40 years of research. So when someone introduced the APL products to me, we flew to New York, met Sergey and Vladimir and others, and we got excited about it. I had been evaluating supplements for a long time, and I'm very familiar with all the ingredients that go into supplements, and some of those ingredients aren't that absorbable. They can even cause allergy responses or inflammatory responses. Yes.
Okay. So just so everybody knows, I did ask permission to jump in and interrupt throughout the presentation.
That's great.
Because I want to ask specific questions, because I think I'm actually a good person to interview you, because I don't have this detailed background, right? I'm a fairly healthy guy. I'm 53 years old, but I'm going through the same issues that a lot of people go through at this age and that kind of thing. And I've been very athletic my whole life. I've kickboxed, I've done MMA, play racquetball. I just got done playing racquetball a couple hours ago, and whole 9 yards. And I want to, before we get to where you're at here, is we're in a really, really strange time in the world. with health and things that people are afraid of and stuff like that. And you, over your period of time, right? You've seen thousands of patients, right? People, thousands and thousands of people that you have seen that we call it Eastern. You don't call it Eastern medicine, right? You call it, what do you call it? Kind of compared to Western medicine. Western medicine is more go to the medical clinic, that kind of thing. But Eastern medicine, it seems like they have been doing it for years and years and years, very successfully. And it's just, I'm not going to get off track too far here, but people are looking for alternatives. People want to take, it's like this big wake up call that everybody's kind of realized, hey, I better pay attention. I might want to have to take a little more look-see into my own health. Was that something that got you passionate to begin with, or you saw better benefits from certain things? And we're not going to obviously go into detail on that and we're not making any medical claims. We're not giving medical advice or anything like that. There's a disclaimer. But give me a little more on that real quick before we get into the product.
That's a great question. Back in, when did I start my practice? Back in, 76. I noticed that people were coming to me with all sorts of ailments. And when I did some research to develop their nutritional protocols, I found out what the botanicals do in the body. And I saw that people were desperate. I was their last resort. They had been through the medical gamut and all of that. But this alternative medicine, this is kind of a relatively new term, even though it's been around for 30 years. But when we go back in time and we see how empirical data has been gathered very intelligently, very carefully, and even documented in these medical texts, these ancient medical texts that are still being kept up and being up to date today. So the alternative medicine is really just ancient medicine, and it's in every country all over the world. We ended up calling it Eastern medicine versus Western medicine because of the Chinese trend. The Chinese medicine, got more attention than the others. But now, in doing my research, I'm realizing that people have been healing with nutrition and healing botanicals for thousands of years, and they are very well documented. And along came modern science, 100 years ago or so, and decided to try to disprove all of these old wives' tales or all these so-called myths and whatnot. And lo and behold, they found out through the rigorous scientific method and repeated studies over time, they found that these botanicals did indeed contain a lot of phytochemical compounds and other nutrient factors that are so compatible with the human body. That's another thing I like to show is what happens at the DNA level. So our bodies, our DNA, our trillions of cells read the DNA of plants, and our cells know when to splice out segments of DNA in plants to repair our own segments of DNA that have gotten disrupted or damaged. And that's the key. And this is what's so unique about the APL products, because we are dealing with plant DNA directly. Normally you have to digest food and hopefully absorb all those nutrients and finally get down to that tiny micro world and try to absorb that information, and it really is information. Yeah.
Okay, for those of us who barely made it through high school and weren't paying attention in science class, how important, explain like the cell and the importance of the DNA. Like, I think the only time I really paid attention was in Jurassic Park when they did the cartoon DNA thing and they showed how they brought the dinosaur back to life. But when it comes to plants and the human body, how does that work? And you don't have to go into super detail, but talk to me like I'm 6.
I'm sure you're more advanced than that, Mike. So this is fun. Yeah. Okay. So we have trillions of these. We can't even see them. We're a compilation of trillions of cells. Every single body system has different instructions as to how to replenish the cells, how to regenerate the cells, how to maintain them and repair them, and all of that. So we've got all these different body systems, and it's all one organized organism that communicates with each other and keeps us all one and keeps us alive, right? So these nutrients are so important for maintaining that. Without those instructions, then that's when disease happens. We have to maintain and preserve the genetic integrity of our genetic codes. And the genetic code is the instruction guide for how your body runs. If that's damaged, then we have diseases, inflammatory responses, immune system problems, just degenerative, rapid aging, all sorts of health problems. I have found that 100% of all illnesses are due to nutrient deficiencies over time. You don't notice it at first, other than maybe aging. Most people out there age faster than they're supposed to, because we're used to seeing that. We're used to seeing people not putting the right nutrient factors in their bodies every day, all the time, their whole lives, to maintain it and keep it more youthful. So cells behave more youthfully when they're completely nourished, and you're taking in plenty of oxygen through exercise and being out in the sunshine and absorbing the sunlight. Our cells do need sunlight just as much as plants do. Does that answer?
That was great. That was perfect. Thank you. And
Sure.
sadly, we have a lot of people that have just kind of just go with the flow of thinking they have to settle for, oh, it's just part of life. Like, we've been conditioned specifically in the US that it's just part of life, that I can probably go through fast food restaurants because those commercials are hammered to me, and eat that way and have no repercussions, which we know is a terrible thing. And I'm not going to get on that tangent, but you have seen, and what you've just explained is the fact that it's just typically a nutritional deficit, that most people aren't eating the proper food that is keeping their cells alive, which then just kind of breaks the cell down to where it becomes weak and can be attacked, correct?
Yes, and that's not the whole picture. We live in a toxic world. We have, through our innocence, maybe complacency, we've gotten comfortable in our lives, or too busy, to do anything about improving how our food system is and preventing a lot of industrial runoff and other pollutants that affect our bodies. Now, in my research over the last 4 decades, that was 90% of the problem of my clients' ailments. So it's best to try to eat foods that don't support companies that harm your health and planet. So we want to stick to as many organic foods as you possibly can, and make sure that your supplements, like the APL drops, are from organic sources, nutrient-rich soils, which increases the nutrients in these plant botanicals ingredients in your supplements. So this is really important. Toxins do disrupt the hormonal system, the reproductive system, because they've been linked now often enough. It's kind of irrefutable by now that they do cause birth defects, and nervous system disorders, digestive system problems. So genetically modified foods should not be in the diet. Those are injected, their DNA in these seeds are injected with pesticides to make them more resistant to insects out in the farms areas. So you want to stay away from all that. Those are toxins, those are poisons, and your poor immune system gets worn out, especially if you're not taking in the right nutrients in your body. So it's got to be nutritionally balanced so that your body system can handle the influx of all the toxins. It's in the water, the tap water. I don't recommend people drink tap water. It's everywhere.
Okay, so let's give people some good news, because that was not with terror. That wasn't bad news, but we addressed the where it kind of comes from, what the issues and what a lot of people are dealing with. So before we get into the full detail, I want to go back to the story of this for you, right? You have been studying for over 40 years botanicals in a nutshell. I mean, the whole body systems, but you have seen and understand at a level most people will never even dream of how beneficial the proper botanicals put at the right moments in the right cells are awesome, right? It just all works together. And then you probably, with your line of work, get hit up all the time with the next and best, greatest product, lotion, pill, potion, whatever it is, right? Everybody probably guaranteed everybody hits you up, right? We're just bringing, networkers are just attacking you. Okay. What was it that got your attention out of all the thousands, probably millions of different supplements out there? What was it that tripped your trigger that you found immediately unique about this product that you saw benefit from, that made you do more due diligence?
Oh, yeah. when they told me about the technology, I thought it was just another product that had the botanicals in it. But when I saw the little candy, I thought, oh, that's interesting. What is in that? Because I know nutrients are very small. And after we digest foods, then that level of nutrients are what our bodies need anyway. So, I just thought, well, okay, that's not so unusual. Vitamin tablets are small too. But when they told me about the technology, as far as how they infuse extra electrons into the orbitals at the atomic level of the plants, and that tells me that they are super antioxidants. When you are in a deficient state or a diseased state or an illness state, your body is lacking the negatively charged particles, negatively charged atoms in your body. And so anything that lacks those negatively charged particles, say you eat a piece of junk food or something, and those are missing electrons, and these are called scavengers, free radical scavengers. They literally scavenge your body's healthy cells and steal those electrons. So when that happens, then your body becomes more positively charged. So it's just missing electrons. And without those electrons, your body cannot function. And so it starts degenerating and degrading and malfunctioning. So it's important to get as many of those antioxidants in your system. And these candies are super antioxidants because of their technology. I don't know if you've already let your audience know how that technology works, but it's really awesome.
I haven't, because there's no way I could do it as justice compared to what you could do by explaining it. But let's just real quick. What's really nice is I was very skeptical because I take pills, potions, lotions, protein powders, all 9 yards. And when my friend Cowrie, hi Cowrie, I know you're on here, said there's these lozenges, they taste like candies and they're good for you, and there's lightning that charges it and it does plant DNA. I'm like, what in the world is he talking about? But then when I actually took the time to listen to the simplicity of the science, that basically they take botanicals from there, they harvest them. I think a lot of it comes from like Israel, which is really well known for its the soil and the quality and organic stuff there. And then they take them to the facility in Moldova to where they electrically charge them. I think I heard Nancy say that they put them in a lightning thunderstorm and a lightning storm. And then what's happening to the plant DNA that's in those things at that point? Is it and then when they encapsulate it into a lozenge form, are you saying that it, from what you've understood and studied, is it basically just keeping it alive? So then when I put it in, I ingest it into my mouth and goes through my mucosal, that it absorbs better? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's part of it. The fact that they simulate a thunder lightning storm, which after a lightning storm out in our atmosphere, you always notice how fresh the air feels and you have more energy and whatnot. Everything looks more crisp and clean. So that's what happens at the micro level. And when that happens, it breaks down the cell membranes of the plant cells. And so the DNA, the mitochondria, the energy producing factories, every single organelle that does a specific function to maintain your body, building new tissues, tearing down molecules for repurposing and regenerating cells and maintaining the integrity of the DNA. All that is inside every single one of those cells in those plants, as much as we have those also. Plant cells and human cells are almost identical. They're the same, they perform the same functions, we have the same organelles, we're extremely compatible with plants. So when the DNA is released into that environment, into that vat, then, and also it's been tested, from what I understand, the viability of the enzymes are still active, and all of the nutrient factors are still negatively charged. So when you pop those little babies in your mouth, you're getting a huge dose of antioxidants, and that's going to go through your system and neutralize all of these free radicals, all of these damaging, scavenging substances. It can be anything from something that's been not digested properly, or ingesting a food that has a pesticide in it, or it can be a lot of things that are lacking electrons at the atomic level. So when those things are present and you pop one of these things in your mouth, you are neutralizing these free radicals. That way your body can eliminate whatever toxins are in there, or prevent a lot of damaging biochemical processes that occur.
Okay. So let's keep peeling this onion. You're approached by somebody with the drops, right? And they probably just throw out, there's this healthy candy. Okay, there's the broad term. And then when you started to look at the individual products themselves, like maybe the brain or the STP, when you were looking at the ingredients per product and what they each said that they addressed, when you were doing your I guess your own review, your own study on this, what popped out to you? What was it that you were impressed? Maybe that kind of thing.
Well, the book that I wrote, I modeled them after the German Commission E monograph. So that means that there has been extensive research, and they're summarizing all the things that each botanical in the formulations do for the body. So there's tons of science behind it. So I kind of summarized everything in the same form. So when you look at the monographs and you see every single thing that these plants or these particular botanicals have been shown to do for the body, they address so many different body systems. They help boost the immune system. They make the immune system more intelligent. They improve digestion. They destroy the microbial world. People are running around with, parasites and fungi and bacteria and even viruses. And, so these plants are actually known to do all of these things. So they're pretty pan-systemic. Some plants, they have an affinity for certain areas of the body. They will go in and are more compatible with cleaning out the kidneys or the liver, or increasing, just eliminating toxins and binding to toxic chemicals. And that way you safely eliminate them out of the body. So all these botanicals do different things, but they also have a lot of things in common as well. So you can't really hit and miss. If you take a drop and you want it to do something, it's likely going to help, unless you have another drop that has a botanical in it that's more specific to that body system. So that's what I outlined in the book that I wrote, and it really goes into a lot of detail as far as what the botanicals do. Now, what you're doing, though, if you were to take in just these botanicals, your slow digestive system, it would go through the digestive system and it'll be processed and broken down further and further and further down to the DNA level, which is what the drops are automatically. It's already been done for you. They bypass the digestive system. When you put them in your mouth, they go through the mucosal tissues in the mouth, and they enter the bloodstream and they circulate. And the body's very smart. It knows what to do with all of these nutrient factors. It will let it go to wherever it's most needed. The body has a hierarchy of needs and a priority system. So it will address the toxins, and it will improve how the brain works. It will repair damaged cells, which on the macro level is going to be an injury or an inflammatory problem like arthritis or something like that. It will improve the things like the blood vessels. It'll just go through the whole entire body, and your body will decide what to do with that particular, those particular nutrient factors that are entered in there. So at the DNA level, this is what's going on. The communication process is going on between our DNA and the drops DNA.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So since we have so many supplements out there, have you ever seen a better delivery system for botanicals?
I have not. No.
Say that one more time, because that's kind of a cool thing that you.
Yeah. That's what got me excited, because after 40 years, and like you said, people have been approaching me with all sorts of supplements, and all I ever tell them is just show me the ingredients. Just send me to the website. I'll look at the ingredients. I'll let you know whether I want to endorse it or not, or use it for my clientele, or just tell people about it. And of course, 90% of them I decided to not use because they were either redundant or inadequate or whatever, not absorbable. That was the main thing. Absorbability is the most important thing you can do for any kind of supplement, and even the food you eat. So proper digestion, But as far as the drops go, this is so unique because there's no other supplement out there that is immediately 100% absorbed right inside your cell membranes. Your cell receptor sites are so picky, they identify every molecule that arrives on the outside of your cells, and it can reject a lot of things that come in because it's not of self. And this is what scientists call, if a substance arrives at your cell membrane and it's not compatible with your body, or it can do damage, then the body rejects it and you have to try to eliminate it. There's like 5 different eliminative channels in the body. So, you know, sometimes it's not that successful. If you have toxic pesticides or other pollutants in your body that have an affinity for being stored in fatty tissues, which could be the brain, the nervous system, the spinal cord, or the liver, or anywhere else where your body stores fat, you can store those toxins for years, and it can affect your hormones. It can lead to nervous system degenerative disorders and things like that. Did I answer the question? I think I went off on a tangent.
That was a great tangent, but I think you answered my question. So we're talking about the product specifically. When you've got people that have approached you now that you know that this is kind of something in your repertoire, how would you introduce somebody to this product? So let's say anybody watching this is say, hey, you know what, this makes sense. I'm gonna start using it. Heck, I might even, refer enough people so I can get my own product for free, even though we have a low price point. Well, that's kind of cool. We have an affiliate model to that, and we're not going to go into that anymore. But if I was to come to you, what kind of questions would you ask me to see, and then how would you maybe pinpoint or show me stuff to take?
Okay.
Again, we're not giving medical advice or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely not. No. We don't want to go there. So this is really fun because everywhere you go, there's an opportunity to help someone with their health issues. People love to talk about their health issues. They're so miserable with their health issues that anything can trigger that conversation. Okay, so that's the easy part. And you can always say, I've been helping people improve their health with this certain supplement line, and I found that this is the best one as far as absorbability and effectiveness, efficacy. So there's all these benefits, the great company, all that stuff, right? It's like one minute elevator speech, and it's really easy because it's all true. There's nothing, there's no sales pitch. There's just like sharing of this valuable life-saving supplement, and everyone knows if they've been witnessing, the results of these little drops in people, that they seem to perform miracles, and people are in disbelief that one little piece of candy can do all of that. But things are happening at the micro cell level, micro subatomic level, submolecular, subatomic, subquantum energy frequency level, and that's, I can do a whole nother seminar on our body's cells are little light energy packs, and we have to maintain a certain frequency in the body. A healthy body will resonate at 62 megahertz, okay, and a person who is diseased will resonate somewhere around 52 megahertz, and that's quite a bit of difference as far as electrons go, and light energy being stored in the cells. So like plants, we need the energy from sunlight, and we store light energy. And without that energy, without that catalyst that causes all these biochemical reactions, then the body will die off. We need the light, and we need the storage of that light and the enzymes that are active in the drops. Other supplements do not have these two very, very important life-saving factors in their supplements. So that's why I think the drops are so unique.
And so after you started studying, no, let me say this differently. You know what botanicals work in conjunction with other botanicals to enhance each other, right? Like one stacked on another and the proper ones combined do better things, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let me keep going. So
okay.
So the company, their scientists obviously must have had some serious experience in that same capability, and that's why these drops have multiple botanicals in specific drops to address those issues. Could you give me just an example of maybe one of the drop types that you saw and you were like, oh, this, or in your experience looking at the botanicals they may have all put into ice as an example, because ice is near and dear to my heart because it's the first one I ever tried. And it worked immediately for me eating a burrito too fast. Okay, we'll leave it at that. But I didn't, and I was like, yeah, it's a fluke. And then I ate another burrito the next day just to see if it was a fluke. And same scenario, with 10 minutes, I took an ice, good to go. And then I was like, okay, Calorie, my friend had introduced me. We need to talk because I've never seen a supplement this easy to take. But anyhow, I rabbit trailed on there. When you were looking at them, what was it that, you saw the combinations? How impressive was that to you?
That was very impressive. Excellent point. When I saw the combinations, I thought somebody really did their scientific homework to put this together. And I don't know who did. It might have been a team of people who did their research, but I was very impressed by how they combined these different botanicals. They didn't put together botanicals that do one thing specifically for a specific system. Plants don't work that way. They have a variety of phytochemical compounds that protect the plant from predators or insects or diseases. So those very same phytochemicals will address our own body systems in various ways. So I was impressed by how they knew how to put together different botanicals to create this whole pan-systemic effect, so that it wasn't just like, say, the eyesight or helping digestion. It was just detoxification and improving the cell duplication, and protecting the DNA. That's the most important thing. So I knew all of this was going on, but again, without the absorbability factor, then supplements can not be very effective, but they were 100% absorbable. So you're getting all of the benefits of the instructions of that plant to aid the instructions of your own, how your own body works. That's what's different about these supplements.
Okay. And for anybody that's new that's watching this, what a lot of people don't understand is this product has actually been around for almost 10 years now, over 9 years that they've been primarily using it in Russia, which is where they were founded, and throughout Europe. And what impressed me was, because I look at this type of thing from a business standpoint as well. I'm health first, business second kind of thing. And I asked Cowrie, I said, well, did this just start? Is it just brand new? And he's like, no, this is not a company that's 9 years old. And they did over $125 million worth of sales the year before. And then I looked at because it's public knowledge, you can go through and see, how much they've increased each year. And to me, that was kind of a statement in itself that people don't buy products again if they don't work. It just doesn't go that way. And to see the growth that we have with that, and it's just coming now here to the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia, they're now branching into these other countries. How much of an impact do you think this product, because of the delivery system, it's real important, and we continue to emphasize that the lozenges are just basically the delivery system of the perfect botanicals at the right time. What do you see this kind of expanding to?
You mean the next step the company would take as far as
from maybe the next, maybe like the benefits that the world could potentially see, because we're out there being the voice piece and brand ambassadors for this product. Like, how excited does that get you? Because I asked you so everybody knows I've never met Mary Esther before. And I called her before about this afternoon and I said, hey, I want to introduce myself. I want to talk to you. I said, Esther, what makes you the most passionate? What do you really want to talk about? And you remember what you said to me? It was, you want to help the world. And I was like,
I need
kind
to heal
of broad.
the world.
I thought to myself, but we're doing that with this, right? Don't you think that we have the ability to possibly do that with this?
Yeah, you've seen the transformations from people taking the drops. So there's the evidence right there. There's tons of empirical evidence that has been going on for almost 10 years now. And so that is something very serious. The only thing the company needs to do now is have an independent study done on the drops, the products themselves. There's tons of scientific evidence for the botanicals and the genetic codes inside these plants. And we have the genetic codes. That's the most important thing you can obtain from your supplements and your food, because our DNA reads those genetic codes. Those genetic codes are carefully, formulated and grown. And so we know we're getting quality DNA in the plants. They're not diseased plants or anything like that. So the DNA is intact. That genetic information, our DNA can read that. And it knows the difference between what's wrong with our own DNA, if we have an ailment or somehow the DNA has been damaged in the disease process, degenerative process. And so our DNA can read the DNA in plants and splice out that DNA from the plant DNA and put it into our own DNA. I have a slideshow that shows exactly how that's done. So it's a very common, way to demonstrate how plants can repair and heal our bodies at that DNA level.
That's amazing. I meant to ask this earlier, but I'm glad I just remembered it. And we're going to simplify this for a second. With the delivery system of the drops, how much easier is it to get kids to ingest quality nutritionals, and how has it benefited maybe the seniors that can't swallow down the horse pills and stuff like that? What have you seen when communicating with people in those brackets?
Yeah, they see the drops and they say, wow, this is easy. I can just put it in my pocket or my purse and just take it whenever I need to. Very easy to take. And so they look forward to it. When have you ever heard someone look forward to swallowing, big pills,
Right.
especially if they have problems swallowing, and,
Yeah.
and little kids especially. Oh my gosh, my kids used to hide their supplements from me, and I would find them in all these odd places. So I used to just grind them up and put them in their smoothies. But then they don't often feel like having smoothies either. So kids can be pretty finicky. So rather than chase them around, somehow kids really like candy. My kids were not, I did not allow them to have much candy at all. But if I'd had the drops, I would have just given them a pack and say, yeah, go ahead. And they're very safe. There's a story I want to tell you really quickly. There was a little child, I think he was about 3 years old, and he found one of the boxes. I don't remember what box it was, which formulation it was, but he consumed the whole pack. And so now this is an example of what human beings carry in their bodies. So he, in his, when they changed his diaper, they found worms. Okay, they were a whole diaper full of worms. So this formulation had evacuated all of these little microscopic organisms that they could see in the diaper, So this is how thorough they are. So these botanicals and their instructions of these botanicals know what to do as far as telling the body what to do. Okay, so it told his little body what to do. It told its little body to get rid of these microorganisms that he had been carrying around for who knows how long. So be careful what you feed your children. You don't want them running around with all these parasites and whatnot. And the drops do a very thorough job.
Somebody said, wow, what box did he eat? You can, it's pretty easy to start popping these without paying attention. And that's what I heard too, is you really can't, like, obviously if you ate 2 or 3 boxes of this stuff, that's on you. You're going to get a stomachache potentially. I don't know, but
some major detox happening there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that wasn't MLS, to be honest, if somebody was curious.
Oh,
if you look at that, because I think that was one of the stomach detox ones. I didn't know that one had anything to do with benefits with your stomach with anxiety and stuff. Like, I didn't know. How does I totally rabbit trailed, but this might be a good topic since the world does seem to be a little more stressed than normal. What is it in your stomach that has to do with anxiety?
Yeah, your body produces more hydrochloric acid when you're under a lot of stress. Not only that, your body produces stress hormones, all these biochemicals. If your body perceives danger, or what they call just running for your life, fight or flight, then these biochemicals are very toxic and they constrict the blood vessels, they obstruct blood flow to the brain, so you can't think, kind of thing. A lot of these things are that you encounter in everyday life can be very toxic and trigger a lot of these inflammatory responses, things like that. So these botanicals are very, very well known, and it's demonstrated over and over again in the book that I wrote that they do neutralize all of those free radicals. They help the body detoxify. They return the body to its normal biochemical balance, also called homeostasis. So the body's always striving to return itself to that ideal homeostasis, so that your body can function optimally. You can digest properly and you can think properly, you can stay calm and think rationally, make better decisions, better interactions with people. I mean, all of that. A lot of these hormones that are produced regulate our moods. They govern our moods. So someone who is biochemically imbalanced due to nutrient deficiencies, they will have mood swings, they will have depression, they will have all of these issues, stress issues, and their perception, their cognitive abilities go out the window. So being well nourished restores you to your optimal self, so that you're not under a lot of stress.
And the one product that we have that has addressed that for me personally, and I know probably thousands of people by now, is that RLX. that taste like banana. It's fantastic. I started taking those. I started taking one before I go to bed, like right when I go to bed. I a lot of times detox by, mentally detox by like watching like a comedy show or something before I sleep or whatever. And a lot of times I'll take one before, and I've noticed it does seem like for some reason, maybe you can address this, that the REM sleep, the deeper dreaming sleep, seems to be happening. Why would that be?
Again, the proper balance of hormones, the communication with the nervous system. So when those are in, when the neurons are firing correctly, whether you're sleeping, going to sleep, or in the daytime, trying to concentrate on something, the body knows when it's day and when it's night. So certain hormones come into play and they communicate with the nervous system. So at night, when you're tired and you want to retire for the night, then those hormones are present and it signals the nervous system to just calm things down. It's very interactive every single moment of the day and every single minute of your life. Yeah, you just have to make sure that you're well nourished for that.
Perfect. And we should address this, something very simple, that people should drink plenty of water throughout their day.
Yes.
How important? Okay, let's just, since it popped into my head, it must be important. How important is it, or how much more beneficial are the drops if you're properly hydrated?
Okay, water is the next to oxygen. We can't survive without oxygen for more than a few minutes, a couple minutes. But when you're taking in the properly structured water, which means non-polluted water, not distilled water, not tap water, that structure is not conducive to proper hydration. So mountain spring water that you have exposed to beautiful music and soft words. There's a whole science behind that. Water is very responsive to vibrational tones and frequencies and the environment as well. So, mineral spring water is probably the best thing you can do to stay hydrated. And after you take in a sugar, then the body goes into a slight dehydrating, position. So when you take in water, you can store water properly in your tissues. If your minerals are imbalanced in the body, or if you're thirsty, then you won't be able to have the right consistency of your blood. So your blood can't be too thick. It can get so thick it can be like ketchup, and your heart cannot pump through the entire length of your body, right down to the tiniest capillaries, on your fingertips. So you have to stay hydrated in order to maintain the pliability and flexibility of those blood vessels, which contain little muscles inside those blood vessels to push that blood through. So if you're dehydrated, you won't be able to push that blood through. You'll have headaches. Migraine headaches that's one cause of migraine headaches, and you'll be tired. So there's a whole slew of problems that could happen. Especially drying up the arteries, and that could cause damaged arteries like that could cause blood clots, and once those clots get loose, they're embolisms, they could land somewhere else and create heart attacks or aneurysms in the brain, that kind of thing. So stay hydrated. That's extremely important.
That was a freebie to all of you paying attention. Drink your water.
Yeah, at the cell level, you want to maintain the right balance inside the cell and outside the cell. So if you take in too much water and too much sodium, for instance, your body will retain too much water outside of the cells in the interstitial tissues between the cells, and you'll look bloated, you'll feel bloated, you'll feel terrible. So the right amount of water before and after meals, sipping throughout the day, just to get rid of that feeling of thirst. When you're thirsty, that's a sign you need water. Don't replace water with any other beverage. All other beverages have a net effect of being dehydrating.
Got it. Okay. So we have been on here for almost an hour now total. I don't want to completely close it down yet, but is there anything that I haven't asked you that you can think of that was something that you wanted to address? Just because I want to make sure that because you're very experienced. You've got lots of credibility, over 40 years of doing this type of thing, and you're very impressed with the products. And again, what's really nice is APL Go isn't necessarily the product, it's the delivery system of these tried and true botanicals. Is there anything that I missed that I didn't ask you yet?
Yeah, two things. The way they're grown, the botanicals are grown, you have to have nutrient-rich soil. And from what I understand, they are obtaining them from one particular farm. And so they oversee the soil conditions, they oversee the growth of the plants, and they oversee the best time of day or time of the year to harvest the plants. They preserve the nutrients very carefully, and then they transfer them, to the factory. So that's a very important thing to consider when you're taking your supplements. So if you have supplements that contain pesticide residues, you don't want that supplement because that's going to accumulate in your system. So organic supplements are the only way to go right now. So that's one thing. And let's see, what was the other one? Oh, you have to stay nourished. So eat organic as much as possible. Raw, half of your diet should be raw fruits and vegetables, because they have their benefits too. They have the water content, they have the fiber, they have the vitamins and minerals. The drops are not vitamin and mineral supplements. You can get those a dime a dozen, right? But they are unique because of the DNA, our ability to benefit from the information that can repair our cells. That's what the drops have. And that's unique, and that's effective, and obviously effective. You've seen how many people get well from these drops. But if you're eating junk food, or are you saying, well, I can take the drop and go out and have French fries or something, you're kind of taking a step forward and a step backward, or maybe more. So you don't want to do that. You want to have as much success as you can to transform your health. When I've seen these health transformations of people over the years, it's amazing. They look like completely different people. You can't even recognize the after. The before. It's not just the physical appearance and the repairing of their body, but it's also the mental and spiritual and all these things that make a total human being so much better, like a higher version of themselves, kind of thing. So I've seen these transformations. So don't feed your body something that will pollute it or slow it down, or just make you waste your money on the drops. The drops are wonderful, and yeah, the prices are great, but you'll still be going backwards if you don't eat properly, and exercise as much as you can, not overdoing it. But by saying as much as you can, I mean do it regularly and make it a habit, as much as brushing your teeth, kind of thing. And so when you put those two things together and you manage your stress and you get proper sleep, then your health will transform and you will get better.
That's fantastic. And this popped into my head because you'd said about the nutrition and, that keep an eye on everything yourselves and the price points. What's nice about our product too, is it is remarkably low priced, I guess you could say. I mean, it's for all the things you're getting with each one of those, the price point is incredible. And I would always tell, somebody said this to me a long time ago, and it just, boom, it was one of those things that just stuck with me. It said, because I said, hey, that product's expensive. I said that to this person. This was a long time ago. And they said, well, they said it's way cheaper to be healthy than it is to be sick. From
Absolutely.
A cost standpoint, because it's like an ounce of prevention, pound of cure kind of thing. And I was like, man, that, and then they went on to explain, and I was like, man, that's genius. What they just said to me, but it's just so true, is people, mm-hmm. You can spend a little, because I think I personally, this is me speaking out of my head and heart possibly, I think it's sad that people don't invest in themselves as much as they should. Like, we get one shot at this deal, right? And you just don't see people taking the time to invest in a walk, in 2 glasses of water versus no glasses of water, in a few supplements that might help them sleep better, which enhances their cognitive function and the next day. And, and we're just kind of almost, a lot of people are just hamster wheeling the thing into the ground faster than they need to be. And I'm excited about this product line because it's so easy. You go, hey, I don't know what you're dealing with, but throw something out at me. We got a drop for it. You pop one of these into their hand, say, suck on that for a little bit and see what happens. And everybody always gives a great response, no matter what. They always say the product, every single one of them tastes fantastic. Like you said, they taste like candy. They're not even as sweet as some candies, but they're so beneficial to people. Mary Esther, thank you so much for being on here. I know I could keep going on and on and on, and hopefully I'd love to, if you guys are on Facebook watching this, put some comments below, some hearts. If you're on the chat here, I'd love to see some comments. Just fire them up saying thank you for Mary Esther's time. Because again, we could be on here for quite some time. Anything else in closing before we get going?
I was taking notes. I had 3 things that I was going to address, if I may. And I'd like to tell people about the book. Okay. And I wanted to share people my website so that they can see what the book cover is going to look like if they want to order it. I'm almost finished with it.
With the book, we kind of have to be a little sensitive at the book right now, but we're going to, like, it's going to come, from what I understand, you're writing a book on some fantastic botanicals and how they benefit through delivery systems, correct?
I was going to go over that, yeah, but that's okay. People have been asking me about the book. I get emails from it pretty often, and I have to explain, all the details, right? So yeah, it's not an APL book, but it has many botanicals in it, including some of the botanicals that are in the APL book. Yeah. So I have a link that explains it in more detail if people want to email me or text me or something, and I can send the video and that'll explain it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we have to protect the company and stay compliant and all of that.
Yeah. And and that's what's nice about having you on here, is just so everybody knows, Esther's not being paid to do this. She's not, this is not her full-time gig or anything like that. And she's not out there just busting it to try to get sales of the product. She's passionate about it and has her own, practices and does all that stuff. So that's why that's why when they asked me to interview, I was so excited to do it, because I knew where you came from. You came from you want to help the world. That's exactly what you said to me about what you're the most passionate about, is you are compassionate with people, because it's sad when you see people in situations that maybe they didn't know how they got there, but it's so exciting and so fulfilling when you see somebody come back maybe a week, a month, a year, a couple of years later with testimonies, and their life completely turns around. They've got quality of life back because they've made some positive choices and positive changes. And it's people like you that have been able to get the word out there. And we're in a great company to be able to deliver these things. So thank you so much for being on here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, as far as compiling it started out as a reference manual because I like to educate distributors and companies so that they are much more knowledgeable about the products. It helps the company with more sales, and it helps them, the distributors, become more comfortable with the products. So they need to know a little bit more about what's inside the ingredients and what they do. And that way they can be much more effective, and not only for their own health, but in helping others be more nutritionally sound. So yeah, we're not medical doctors, we're not curing diseases, but when the body's functioning optimally, your body knows how to correct a lot of things. So it's a very fine line, and we cannot just ignore that. So being highly nourished is how to stay in optimal health, and your body knows how to correct itself.
Absolutely. Well, Mary Esther, thank you so much for being on here tonight. I really appreciate it. And everybody that was on here, if you're a guest, make sure you get back with the person that got you on here. Tell them you'd like to try some out, get signed up, get some samples, whatever it might be. We're excited to have everybody on here tonight. We had a lot of people. It's probably one of the biggest calls the company's had to date. If you add all the social platforms, we're in the hundreds of people that heard this information. And obviously we got it recorded. So we'll be able to get the video out there. You'll be able to, I'm sure they'll have it on their YouTube channel. Some of us will have it on our YouTube channels. We've got a lot of messages on here. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mary Esther Gilbert, for being on here tonight, and everybody else for being on here. I don't know where to go from here. I think I would pass it on. So say thank you and say,
yeah, I just want to thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to be here with so many people. And I hope you got a lot out of it.
We did. Absolutely. That was fantastic. You just knocked it out of the park. You hit it so far out of the park, I can't find the ball. So good job.
All right.
Is James on here still? I don't know if James is on here to close it out. If otherwise, I know how to do it. If I have to, I'll give him a second just in case. If not, or Cowrie or anybody. Otherwise, I will say goodnight to everybody. All right. I'll just take it over from here. So everybody, thank you so much for being on here tonight. We do appreciate your time, attention, and everything. And again, get back with the person who invited you on here. They can take care or answer any questions. And the great part is everything that Mary Esther said, you don't have to know because we're going to have it in video form. It's on the websites and so on, and you can pass that information to everybody. So you can just be the messenger and not the message. Excited to have you on board. So Mary Esther, thank you again for being on here. Everybody have a great weekend. We appreciate you all, and we will see you at the top. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.